Hello, and welcome back to the Thursday Night Kissaten podcast. Thursday Night Kissaten is a podcast that we talk about Japanese TV shows, movies, books, and other pop cultures. We update weekly every Thursday night around 5 p.m. This podcast is written and hosted by me, Cordelia. Hello, my dear listeners, and welcome back to Thursday Night Kissaten podcast. I'm your host, Cordelia. As you already seen from the title tonight, we're going to talk about the show, which is da 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 da. Okay, I won't sing. It sounds horrible, I know, but just picture it. You're in a car, maybe a taxi, gazing out of the neon light street of the Shinjuku. Yes, so we are talking about the beloved TV theory and also its manga, Midnight Diner. And this episode is extra special because it's the first time ever requested from one of our listeners. So if you're tuning in, this episode is for you. So, what is Midnight Diner? Midnight Diner, 深夜食堂, is a Japanese manga theory written and illustrated by Yalo Abe, and the same author that behind Yusaku's Twilight, which we have discussed in the previous episode. And the manga first appeared in a very famous manga magazine in October 2006, and as of November 2024 was last year, its chapters has been compiled into 29 volumes. However, interestingly, this manga hasn't yet to be translated into English. So I think if you a food lover and you even just slightly interested in Japanese food or Japanese culture, or any kind of Japanese culture aspect, you have probably heard of the Midnight Diner. This is a big deal because not just in Japan, but across the whole Asia, and I believe even in North America, the series has been adapted into films and TV dramas in multiple countries. In Japan, the Midnight Diner was adapted into TV theory and directed by Joji Matsuoka, starring Kaoru Kobayashi as a master is the owner of the small late-night restaurant. The show aired live. The show aired 5 seasons. Yes, now it's 5 seasons now, and on the TV Tokyo between 2009 and 2014, and followed by the feature film in 2015. And in 2016, Netflix Japan picked it up for the 4th season, and the 5th season was released in 2019, right before the pandemic. The series has also been adapted into Korean and Japanese versions. As you know, the star of each episode, the masters introduce his diner with this words: "The days has ended, and while everyone else is hurrying home, my day is just beginning. The menu has only a few dishes. Order whatever you like, and then I will make it for you. That's how I run this place. We're open from midnight until 7 in the morning. People call it Midnight Diner." You ask, if I get many customers? Oh, there are plenty. So this is the beginning of the story of Midnight Diner. We can definitely say that Midnight Diner is kind of a slice of life show, but also with a lot of not just at the present, but at the past as well. The menu in the restaurant is very simple. It just has 7 items. Pork soup set meal, tonkatsu, deishoku, 600 yen. Beer, large, 600 yen. Sake, 2 cups, 500 yen. Shoju, 400 yen. And highball, 1 glass, 400 yen. So basically, there's only one eatable food items on the menu, and the rest is just alcohol. But that's the thing, that each customer is limited to 3 drinks. The master has the rule, right? He has to be in ingredients, but he has the rule. He doesn't want the drunk customers doing drunky things and lost their sense after they drink. And he also has the rule that if only he has ingredients, he will cook whatever the customer requests. This means that every regular customer at the diner has their own go-to dish, and each chapter of the manga or each episode of the show is named after a particular food and symbolizing the story that unfolds around it. So about the late night diners community, the master says, I have plenty customers, right? And then here is the common stereotype about the people who work at night. Since the diner is located in Shinjuku, known for the nightlives. If whoever actually visit Japan, you definitely remember Shinjuku, this really neon-lights, living neighborhood, which is where the Kabukicho, right, was located there, and also the gay village. And then the customer who are often those who live on the, who works in that area, and that's where their go-to place before their work or after their work at midnight. The diner is a gathering place, basically for sex workers, strippers, bar hosts, taxi drivers, police officers, mama-san, bar owners who knows everything happening in the neighborhood, and ER doctors, office ladies in their 30s, and illustrators, artists, drag queens, male sex workers, and journalists, musician, writer, manzai comedians, and AV actors, professors, and singers. And then Master was right. His diner definitely is never empty. And the person, Master himself, he has a scar on his face and told a lot about his past. Still, his past never been revealed in the story. People are guessing, customers are talking, audience are talking, guessing and predicting. But still, we don't know what happened to the masters. He's just a really handsome uncle, knows how to cook, gentle to the ladies, and often says 1 or 2 sentences about life that weaken people who are lost. He and his food, just with the magic. He smokes all the time, sits in the kitchen, sometimes listening, most of the time he is listening, serving the drinks, and actually was kind to people, this late night community. He is there for them as a healing power, passing on anything that he could to help them. But he is also very good at drawing boundaries. That's why no one still knows what happened to him in the past. And here's the thing. I think because this is a request episode, late night dinner is really popular. But why do people love midnight so much? Unlike most dramas, midnight diners doesn't rely on the dramatic plot twist, actions packed scene, or heart warming or heart stretching romance. It's simple. So simple it feels like a glass of still water. One of my ex once, he joked. He said, like, why do you even like Midnight Diner? Midnight Diner is so flat. So flat that I could sleep on it. He never understood why I love it, and yet he kept buying me the new volumes of the manga as gifts when we were dating. But beyond the food, Midnight Diner is just a mascot of this human experience, right? The customers who step into the diners each night and come from a different walks of their life. You know, the students, the writers, the film actors, like all those peoples, even their homeless people were part of this community. Their relationship crossed all borders, right? There's heterosexual couples, there's same-sex couples, there's transgender individuals, and also the family members, and also the lost friends, or the old lovers. Everyone seems to have something to say about it, also to reveal their life. And we, as the audience, are just silent witnesses. We're observers. And funny thing is that we don't judge. This is the magic of this manga and the stories. We don't judge. The writer is not judging. The illustrator is not judging. And no one's judging what happened to every single person at wherever the season of their life. We all there just listen. Where the true inclusiveness and qualityness came in. So for example, there is a guy, like the game designer, who always orders chicken fried rice. And when he was 4, his mother abandoned him at a museum park. And since then, he's only dressed up in red, hoping that one day his mother will recognize him in the crowd and come back for him. And also, there is another person called Kotani, who always orders yakisoba bread. He was a high school baseball player with the big dreams. And when his alumni master, made it into the spring tournaments, and he celebrated by treating everyone to yakisoba bread. But life wasn't always kind. When he ran into the financial troubles, he took out high interest loans and disappeared when he couldn't pay them back. He never came back to the diner. And also there is another guy called Kashiyama, if I remember it correctly. I remember he always orders the curry ramen. And then he reconnects with his old middle school friends, Ojiku, over the bowl of the dish, and they used to eat as kids. But their reunions takes a dark turn that the old friend borrows a large sum of money from him, then vanished, and stealing his girlfriend's credit card savings and jewelry along the way. A comment of this show that I remember when I was watching, the subtitle actually says that I think it summed up it perfectly. It says that it isn't just a food show, it's a collection of difficult and different lives. And that's exactly what makes Meat Diner so special. Every time the diner doors open, every single time, a new customer step in and bring a new story with them. And the food may be comforting, but the story behind each dish truly drawn us in. We obsess with that. We want to be there with those people and listen to their story. And the sound of the audience, somehow, when I was reading that manga, I wish to meet Master, the owner of the diner. I want to sit there and tell him what happened to my life, and I hope to chase for an answer. We're not watching the show. We're projecting ourselves in it. We're trying to match ourselves as all the ordinary people walking different seasons of our life, and we're trying to find someone that can get an answer for us, and how can I get somewhere that I want to be, or what should I do? So, the director, Joji, did not just flashing this cinematography skills, extracting the cooking scene as all, the very famous cooking manga. Instead, his shots are simple. I remember his shots are very simple. It's just straightforward. At every episode, at the beginning, the master actually makes the tonkatsu, the pork soup. It was just a quiet thing weaving together the diner and the food and these people, from the kitchen, from the ingredients to the cooking and to the table, and pass it to the customer. And the story began. And because behind each dish lies something deeply involved with all human beings and just one ordinary person living in their ordinary life. And within that stillness of the night, the soft background music playing, the one that I was humming at the beginning, a bowl of soup, or just a cup of sake from the diner warms everyone's heart. We're allowed to project. Of course we're allowed. That's why we're reading. That's why we're watching shows, right? That's why we even like to listen to gossips. Somehow it helps us to find an answer. And that's the gentle and everyday magic of this ordinary, flat, plotless manga and the show Midnight Diner. At the end of the 18 volumes of the Midnight Diner manga, there is a special scene. Edo, the producer of the Midnight Diner's movies and TV series, visited the diner to bring masters a gift, the DVDs of the Midnight Diner Season 4 on the Netflix, and the sequel film Midnight Diner's Tokyo Stories, and the Korean and Taiwanese and Chinese adaptations. It actually happened in the manga. The manga artist actually draw this thing. Now, one of the customers, I remember it was one of the 3 OL sisters. And then they asked, why is Midnight Diner so popular across the whole Asia? It was just in Asia was the thing. And now it's the world. And the manga is so simple, nothing really happens. And Edo smiles and says that life doesn't always go the way we want, but we carry on. And that's how we made the show. And maybe that's what makes it so comforting. All people need is they need to know that life is able to be moving on. Their life is worth of their livings. Well, my listeners, if you're actually listening this, I want to let you know that your life is worth living. Everyone's life is worth living. If you make yourself small, there is a tendency you're going to make other people small as well. This is not what I said. It's Master said in the Midnight Diner. So, as the night is deepened, what dish from the Midnight Diner are you craving tonight? Well then, thanks you for tuning in for this special episode of the Midnight Diner of this Thursday night Kissaten. Well then, stay in tune. We'll talk to you soon in another episode, and have a good night. おやすみなさい。